we're going to talk about the slide deck. We've talked about all the preparation. You've got confidence. You know where you stand. You've got a decent set of clothes on, standing up straight. You've done your hair. You're looking good. Everyone's a winner. Now, this whole question about PowerPoint presentations. Now, it's really interesting because really for the last 15 years, and I've done a lot of presentations, I think I've probably done about one PowerPoint presentation in the last 15 years, and that's because I couldn't get out of it. And the reason for that is that I just find them so boring and so disengaging, and there's so many ways that we can really mess them up and make them really grim experiences for the audience. What do you reckon, Sam? Give us a few examples.
Yeah, with the slides that are filled up, they look like an essay. You know, if someone's just reading straight off the slides, anything like that is it just loses engagement for the audience completely.
Right, and small word. So we're filming this in the time of the virus, so we can't go to school and flash up a PowerPoint so that we can show some examples of that. But I think you've all seen PowerPoint presentations. Imagine we've got a PowerPoint presentation here, and you've got tiny little words, and some poor person sitting at the back of the room over there is like, they didn't need glasses before they came to your presentation, but they did afterwards, right? They can't see the tiny little words. And worse, you're standing there like this. I am here today to tell you about deforestation in soy. How do you feel, Sam? Am I engaged with you at the moment?
Not at all, no.
It's awful, isn't it? I'm not even looking at you. I'm looking up there, and the people in the audience are going, well, like the look of the back of his head, and they're thinking, well, why am I here? I can't actually read what's on the slide, and they go off. Now, in worst case scenarios, and I know that some of you kids do this, you'll get in trouble with your teachers, I'm sure, but you might reach into your pocket to start pulling out your phone. If you're in an auditorium when no one's looking, that's what's going to happen. If they don't do that, you've lost them anyway. Okay, so what I tend to do, if I have to do a slide, and I've seen so many people who do use slides, one of the best things is just to put up a nice picture. Not of a beach if you're talking about deforestation. Make it relevant to what you're talking about, but try and make it a beautiful picture, right? There's plenty on the internet that you can download for free without breaking any copyright laws. Get a nice picture there that speaks to the topic that you're talking about. And what did you say, Sam? Put up some key facts, right? Maybe just one or two key facts, but keep it big so that people can read it. And remember that your audience is out here, not here, okay? So you want to talk, it might be there, you might have a key fact on there, and you might just point them to it, but then you engage with them and you explain. Okay, remember the key thing is engagement. So that's how we set up the slides. Look at pictures. Now, as we're going into our presentation, what I find is, of course, you've got to introduce yourself. You've got to introduce your team if you're part of a team. If you've got a team, here's my slides. Don't stand here and have the projector right in your face and big slide. You're sitting there going, yeah, g'day, I'm Scott. Hope you're all good out there. This is Nigel. This is Mary. You're all standing there. Get out of the way. Here's my slides. Make sure everyone's got some space. Not always possible if you're in a small room, as we are. But just make sure that people can see the slides and you're not standing there squinting at them because you've got the bright light in your eye. Okay, now, this is a really strange one. Almost everyone puts up an agenda slide. This is what I'm going to talk to you about today. And it just kills me. I'm really against agenda slides. Right? Put a nice picture and then tell the people what you're going to tell them about. Because if they're sitting there looking at the agenda, they're already bored to tears. Oh dear. Okay, whereas if you're standing there saying, I'm going to talk to you today about deforestation, and particularly deforestation in the Amazon, which is linked to soy farming and cattle production. And I'm going to tell you the key point of my presentation is that we've got to look at our consumption of products that are linked to that deforestation and see what we can do to change that pattern. That's the conclusion that I want to bring to you today. So in that little quick 20 seconds, you've got a picture up there that's engaging. They've had a quick look at it, and now they're listening to you because you're talking to the audience. You can use your hands. I love using my hands. I could be Italian. You're engaging. You're calling them to look at you. Okay? I'm going to tell you, and then you go through your agenda. And you don't need notes for that because you know it and you've practiced it, right? So you don't need notes. I'm going to, it's not up on the slides, but I've got it on my notes. I'm going to talk about this today. I've lost you, right? Okay, so then you go through your topics, and again, practice is going to make this perfect. make sure that your slides flow. So I'm going to talk to you about deforestation in the Amazon. I don't want to go off and start, talking about beef before I've talked about the general problem. So if I go too deep into the issue too early, I'm going to lose you. I'm going to be jumping around topics. So make sure the topics flow so that the audience can come with you through your argument and they can reach the conclusion at the end that you want to share with them. Because the key thing is you want them engaged so that at the end of your presentation, they've got the key message that you want them to take away. Okay, that's the key thing. You're not standing up there for the fun of it. You're standing up there to make a presentation, to share the knowledge you've learned so that they can have that knowledge too, and you can scale your impact by inspiring people to understand your message. So to do that, we've got to have an inspiring presentation. Okay. If you're doing a presentation on your own, it's a lot easier in terms of just keeping things moving. But if you have to, and many times you do as students, have to make a presentation as a group, make sure everyone knows the order. Make sure you've practiced. Practice makes perfect. Make sure everyone knows the order, because if you're standing there and you get to the end of your little presentation and Roger over there standing there thinking about the football match tomorrow, everyone's going to go, Roger. And Roger's going to be, hold on. What am I going to talk about? You see what I mean? It just breaks the whole flow. So make sure you've got your transitions to your next speakers all sorted out. And as Sam said, make sure everyone's got some words to say and meaningful words. Like I'm going to tell you about the really big important thing. And poor old, Mary over here, she's going to tell you about that little thing there. Make sure, the important messages are shared so that everyone's part of the group. Okay, and then we're coming to the end, the wrap up. Inspiring picture, key message. Put it up there if you want to. Don't have to, but I think if you're going to put any text on slides, the key message at the end, by this stage, it might only be a 10-minute presentation, but you've taken the audience through the flow. They're with you. You've engaged with them. You've been looking at them as you're talking to them at the back of the room. Okay, you wrap up, key message. They've got it. And then the final thing is questions. Now, there's this debate about whether you let questions come through the presentation and during the presentation or at the end. It depends on where you are. I don't think there's a golden rule on that. I tend to like to wait till the end because I like to present my flow of argument so that a question that comes when you're only 2 minutes in, you might answer it at 4 minutes. So you have to say, I'll come back to that. But what's happened is it's interrupted. So what I tend to do is say, look, we'll have some questions at the end once I've presented everything. Okay, so you get to the end, question. And the questions are great because it gives you feedback, immediate feedback, on whether the audience has really stayed with you and understood your topic. There's no stupid question. Okay, so if someone asks something, don't go, oh God, that's a stupid question. No, because maybe they've missed something. So when someone asks a question, it's a gift. So engage with the questioner. Oh, you can even go to them and say, oh yeah, what's your question? And use body language like I'm using my hand, like show that you're interested in their question. Or if you just sit there and say, anyone got any questions? Not very engaging, right? Not very inviting. If anyone got any questions? You're looking at the audience and going, oh yeah, you've got a question. And you step to them and you engage with them. Okay, so this is a great way. And they ask you a question, say you'll answer it. I've got no doubt you'll be able to answer it because you've done your research. But every now and then, someone will ask a question that's a bit out there. You'll say, worst case scenarios, you start making up an answer because they'll smell the rubbish pretty quickly. There's another word for what they'll smell, but I'm not going to do that because I'm talking to kids. But they'll smell it pretty quick. This person doesn't know what they're talking about. They don't know the answer to that question. So never be afraid to say, I don't know. But that's a great question. Thanks very much. We didn't cover that in our research, but it's really interesting. And I'll tell you what, I'll get back to you. Okay, so you're looking honest, you're looking transparent, you're not trying to tell rubbish to someone, and they'll appreciate that honesty. So I think that sort of covers everything that I'd like to share with you. What do you think, Sam? Have we covered most stuff?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
it's really helpful.
We've covered a lot of stuff there. Of course, if you've got any questions, you can put them. We'll have a little comment section down below. Fire them in there. We might actually, at a subsequent time when we've actually got a projector, make another video where we can actually expand on this. But I think that the key thing is, the really key message that I left with the kids last year and I wanted to leave with you all now is believe in yourself. Okay, believe in yourself. Have that confidence. You've done the research. You know your topic. Now, you might be one of those kids who was sitting back in the group and didn't engage too much, but try and engage. You've got a presentation to give. Try and engage with the audience. Have confidence in yourself. Okay. Try and leave the notes behind, or just leave just a couple of summary notes. Stand up there, be confident, present to your audience, and you'll inspire them to understand your key message and maybe even change the world. So thanks very much. Good luck with your presentations.